Welcome to the Your Entrepreneurship School podcast, or as I like to call it, the Yes Podcast. My name is Britta Moreta. I'm an executive business consultant for women who dream of living wildly and wealthy abroad. The Yes Podcast is for women who are ready to build a business that funds her dream life abroad so she can expand her business, bank account, and brilliance without settling for a life that tames her wildness. The Yes Podcast is sponsored by Bridal Babes Yoga, a Luxe start to your celebration. Ready to elevate your bachelorette or hen-do weekend with something truly unforgettable? My Bridal Babes Yoga experiences are crafted with intention, movement, and connection because you deserve more than just the usual. Immerse yourself in a soulful, joy-filled session designed exclusively for you and your crew. Whether you crave a restorative morning flow, a themed class with playful energy, or a heart-centered practice to set powerful intentions for this next chapter, we'll curate a dreamy experience that feels as radiant and one-of-a-kind as your love story. What to expect? Thoughtfully curated playlist, essential oil-infused head massage, a pause to breathe, move, laugh, and connect with the optional add-ons of tarot card reading, astrology chart reading, and friendship bracelet making. This isn't just a yoga class. It's a radiant start to your weekend, an unforgettable moment of luxurious relaxation and joy before the confetti. Let's make magic for your bridal crew. To book a Bridal Babes Yoga class, you can go to brittamoreta.com/bridal-babes-yoga or find our link in the show notes. Welcome to Your Entrepreneurship School. This is an episode in between our regularly scheduled Saturday podcast days. I like to start every podcast episode with grounding. So let's take a full body breath in and a full body breath out. I feel much better. Because this is called the Yes Podcast, I want to know, what are you saying yes to today? I am personally saying yes to truth, deep healing, and a brand new beginning in my business and my 30s. The last time we spoke, this podcast was called Yoga Entrepreneurship School. Because I'm in charge of this business, I've changed it to Your Entrepreneurship School. You're probably thinking, what the fuck? And who launches a podcast and then a few months in completely changes the entirety of her business? It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. There will be lots of Taylor Swift quotes in these podcast episodes because I'm a full fan. Thank you for understanding. So, what actually happened? I completely rebranded my business to do what I actually love, which is teach women how to live wildly and wealthy abroad. How did this all come to be? Well, before a new beginning, there must be a breaking, or in my case, a death that shattered my whole world. The last time I did a solo episode on this podcast, I was living my best, most abundant, calm, and happy life in Paris. And Paris felt like me, and it provided a glimmer of what I deeply want and crave to build in this life. I spent my summer in Paris. Then come autumn, I decided to return to Portugal for a short visit. And upon returning, a massive death, truly the death of all deaths, happened within moments of my arrival there. When things like this happen, such as a death that breaks our entire world, it is not the time, at least for me, to expand. I was in a breaking while being deeply, deeply held in love at the same time. I had a whole plan for my life, and within moments, it was all gone. I surprisingly, and for the first time in over 5 years, decided to return to the States to stay with my mom and completely shut off from the outside world, to grieve and honestly to be taken care of when I was at my lowest. This gave me time to rest, remember, and slowly return to myself in small yet soul-awakening ways. And for a really long time, basically this whole year, I have not been in love with my business like I used to be. So I knew that something must change. And now that time has come. What really lights me up is travel, teaching women how to financially thrive, astrology, and of course, teaching people how to return to their bodies through full body movement. What to create, what to manifest, and what impact do I really want to make? Well, first, I want to live in Paris for the long term. And what's wild about that is that I didn't like Paris at first. Even though it was my fourth time staying in that city, it actually didn't hit me until my last day in France that Paris is the place. And it's been calling my name since I was 12 years old. I just wasn't listening until this year when the universe was like, bitch, it's Paris. Open your fucking eyes and soul to the magic. So I'm going to French school starting sometime next year, then spending my Saturdays in London to finish astrology school. I feel exceptionally grounded and have a deep knowing that this is the next move. Now, what about my business? And what can you learn on this podcast? As I briefly shared earlier, my business is expanding into teaching women how to build a business that funds her dream life abroad, so she can expand her business, bank account, and brilliance without settling for a life that tames her wildness. This is exactly what I have been doing and living for 13 years, which, by the way, that number 13 is my Paris number. So I know that this next phase and adventure in my business is the right one. So rather than working in the wellness world where it's really challenging to find committed people in business, I am consciously choosing to walk away from it and rather work with women and, of course, the gays, because I love my queer community, and teach them the life I have been living thoroughly throughout my 20s and now 30s. A life where living abroad is affordable, mostly easy, and soul-filling to the point that you will want to rest from how filled up your soul is from living a life that serves your highest, most abundant self. I will teach you the best bank accounts that make you money in your sleep so you can save up to move abroad easily, the countries that are safest to live in, real jobs that pay good money abroad, how to get a visa, where to buy long-lasting clothing that is stylish AF, financial planning, business building, astrology, and full body practices that will keep you aligned in your purpose to serve the world. Plus, money tips for every country and city you want to experience, dining and nourishment abroad, how to pack up your whole life and take the leap that is yours without a trust fund, wealthy partner, or family to support you. Because believe it or not, you don't need any of those things to make it abroad. You just need to believe in yourself fiercely and know that the universe divinely guides us to the place we are meant to shine and be our most brilliant selves. I've lived, taught yoga, and worked directly with women-run businesses across 20 countries. So as I build a rooted life for myself in Paris, I'm going to teach you how to build a life for yourself, a life that is similar to mine. If you are like, yes, yes, a million times yes, I want to live wildly and wealthy abroad, then go ahead and download the Wild Wealthy Woman's Guide to Fund Your Life Abroad. It's full of proven jobs, income streams, and money strategies, plus my personalized astrology job guide, all yours for $27. And because I like speaking my life into existence, you can add on the Wild Wealthy Woman mantra bracelet so you can speak your dream life abroad into real life abroad with me. And you can find all of that in the show notes. My friends, my loves, this right here, this is what lights me up. And I am beyond excited to begin this journey with all of you. From now until end of this year, this first season of the Yes podcast will be our wellness chapter. And I think next year will be our travel chapter. And following that, the rich girl rooted abroad chapter. Before I end this podcast episode, I want to share a handful of abundant experiences from my life to get you in the flow of money, ease, and the knowing that when we ask for support, it always shows up. Moments of abundance in my life. When I was living in Boston and didn't have a job, but interviewed for 2 yoga studio management positions, I was offered both of them. at 2 different yoga studio companies, so I had a choice as to how the abundance would come into my life. When my mom was mysteriously and randomly given an upgrade to first class on her flight from Paris to Iceland. One time, a long time ago, I ran out of money right before my yoga studio job in Boston and was randomly given $50, which held me over until my first paycheck from the studio job. Twice in my life, I had someone invite me to a Taylor Swift concert. For me, being invited to a Taylor Swift concert is the definition of abundance. All the times a family friend was generous and gave me standby tickets during my travels, which almost always got me into first-class international flights. When I finally left Portugal and London flowed with grace into my life, a friend rented me a room for a month so I could find a permanent flat that ended up being right next to Hampstead Heath. And being right next to Hampstead Heath, I was able to teach private clients and work at a yoga studio, which led to extra abundance in my bank account. When I got put at the top of the realtor list for my yoga studio in Portugal because I'm Portuguese and could see my late Portuguese grandfather's flat from the studio windows. Without any hesitation, they immediately bumped me to the top and I got the keys the same week. When I decided to move to Paris this past summer, and the number 13 kept showing up in my life, then upon arrival in Paris, my apartment number was 13, and so was my metro line. Paris gave me everything. Most importantly, it returned me to myself. The day I adopted my cat Matcha, and all the darkness in my life abruptly fell away. Every time my mom has supported me, which is basically my entire life, every time someone who is not worthy of me left to create space for someone who was. The first time I got a pay-in-full client, and all the times after that. When I said yes to teaching yoga for a bridal party that ended up turning into my side hustle, Bridal Babes Yoga. An unexpected, full of joy job in Paris that paid for my rent the whole summer. My hairstylist, because my hair looking fire is abundance. Every time I say yes to receiving. Now, that was just a handful of times abundance showed up in my life. When are the times it showed up in yours? I end every podcast episode with a quote or a poem. Today's quote: I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been. Winnie the Pooh. Take a full body breath in and a full body breath out. Thank you for being here and for taking the time to invest in yourself, your business, and your wildest wealthy woman self, believing in your brilliance now and always. And I will see you on the next Saturday of when Your Entrepreneurship School comes out. If you are a women-run business and want to be featured as a commercial on the Yes podcast, then send an email to britta@brittamareda.com or check the show notes to get the details. Thank you for listening to the Your Entrepreneurship School podcast. If funding your life abroad sounds like something you want to do, then check out the show notes to find out ways we can work together. If you feel called to leave a review, then you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. I'll see you on our next episode where we will expand our business, bank accounts, and brilliance without settling for a life that tames us, all while saying yes to our wildest dreams.